We came to find out not only did he graduate from Harvard and Princeton, he was a major investor, angel investor in Silicon Valley, $3 billion in exits, a major business player.
This is Warrior X Talks, where you will witness those who have lived the warrior's way live. And during these episodes,
you'll understand.
This is a brotherhood.
What is a man?
We get paid. This is a brotherhood.
In 2008, I was at the top of my game, and I got fired. That's right, I got fired. But it wasn't supposed to be like this. I'd worked my ass off to get there. My parents came from India with close to nothing. When I was born, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment where the rent, including utilities, was less than $200 a month. When other kids were studying, actually they weren't studying, when other kids were partying, drinking, whatever, I was studying relentlessly. And all that hard work paid off. I've sold $3 billion worth of companies. If I look at just my tech startups, companies where I was the first money in on the board or running, those companies started off at literally zero and today are valued at over $350 million, probably more. I've been on the board of directors of 10 companies and I'm a graduate of Harvard and Princeton. Innovation and technology are accelerating. And what I mean by that is that the future, things you thought were science fiction, the future is not tomorrow. The future is yesterday. Cars with no drivers, currencies with no countries, hotels with no rooms. When you look at things like the phone, which you could argue is pretty important, it took the phone 50 years, top left corner, to get to 50 million users. It took Twitter 2 years to get to 50 million users. The rate of change is increasing. And digital disruption is affecting all industries. This is HSBC, a major bank, with all the logos of companies attacking different parts of its business. Every single one of your businesses is in the same boat. Everyone remember Blockbuster Video? Did they embrace change? Nope. Because change is hard to figure out. Change is not linear. Change is exponential. It's flat and then it goes straight up. So how are small business owners like you and I supposed to compete with all the things happening in the future, the cloud, mobile, Facebook, whatever? And by the way, before I get to that, if you think your business is safe, this is a pizza-making robot. So if you thought anything was sacred, guess again. But you can compete because this is a company called PopSockets where do you need to understand programming to put a little thing on the back of your phone and take selfies? No. But did they understand the trends affecting their business? The exponential trends of how people are using their phones. Did they understand that? Yes or no? Yes. Can you believe this is a $170 million business? Number 2 fastest growing company. I couldn't believe this when I looked this up. By Inc. magazine, number 2 fastest growing company in the United States, PopSockets. And the critical thing here is that there's a gap. There's a gap between where you are and where you need to be. And here's the easiest thing to write down, but the hardest thing to accept, and maybe the hardest thing to do. And if you don't do this, you might as well fall asleep the rest of my presentation, because nothing else is going to matter. The gap is this. It's between the traditional mindset that you're in right now, the traditional mindset, and the innovation mindset. Because in the old days, things were slow and steady, weren't they? They were slow. You could predict them over time. But today, no matter what business you're in, your business is exponential. Your business is exponential. And to compete in today's world, in the exponential world, in the innovation world, you need to first have an innovation mindset. Starbucks has 27,000 bricks and mortar stores. 27,000 stores. Can you think of anything more traditional? On top of that, they're selling coffee and food. That's been going on for thousands of years. But did you know that Starbucks actually operates the number 2 mobile payments platform in the United States? Mobile payments. They get half of their revenue from their mobile app. And what does that mean? That means they're collecting all sorts of data on everyone who's using that mobile app for literally billions of dollars of transactions. They're using that AI to target their customers, not because they think they're in the coffee business, not because they think they're in the food business, but they know they're in the tech business. People confuse technology and innovation as the same thing, but they're not the same thing. Technology only drives scale and efficiency. You see, people drive innovation. You drive innovation, you drive innovation, you drive innovation. Ever heard of some of these logos? They're off the screen now, but they're Amazon, Instagram, Microsoft, Dropbox. You basically can start a business for free these days. But technology is not going to start your business. Technology is not going to innovate your business. It'll help you get bigger and more efficient, but people drive innovation. Principle 3, exponential trends grow too fast to predict. You can't predict them. Anyone predict this? Pretty hard to predict, huh? 106,000%, if that's even a number, growth in the last 10 years in mobile data consumption. And take a wild guess where that graph is going in the next few years after that. Straight up. How can you predict that? Because once you see the trend, it's too late. Be agile, not fragile. What does that mean? That means if you want to build something that's going to stand the test of time, you would think you'd build a strong, sturdy structure like the building on my last slide. And that might work in the old days. In the new days, you have to be agile, because what's going to happen with those trends? You have to move with the trends. You have to move with the trends and evolve. Because if you don't, those exponential trends that you cannot predict are going to pass you by. Be agile, not fragile. The minimum viable donut. And you're going to like this. Say you're starting a donut company. Do you want to show your customers and test with eggs and butter and milk and whatever? No, they're not going to know that's a donut. But do you want to spend a year building the unicorn sprinkle donut with, cream filling? No, you don't want to spend $1 million building that last donut on the right. You want to get the minimum viable donut, the sugar donut or the plain donut that you can get quickly and easily, and you can test with your customers. You can figure out if they like chocolate, do they like vanilla, do they like sprinkles, whatever they like. You want to sell them that, but you got to start somewhere. You start with the minimum viable donut.
Two clap! Two clap!
Now, if you're listening to this, that means what you just watched resonated with you somehow, some way. And now you want to learn more. So here's what I need you to do. Go to warriorcon4.com right now. Cause when it comes to training married businessmen with children, let me tell you something. We run this. We run it. We run this. We run it. We run this. We run it. We run this motherfucker. You gotta fight every day, every night for the rest of your life. It's the warrior way. warriorcon4.com WarriorCon4.com.